As you can tell, I'm sitting on my couch at home, so I made it home from Portugal safely. But I wanted to do a story time about it because a lot of things happened. There were some snags along the way, and I just wanted to walk you guys through my experience and just tell you about what happened and how everything went. So let's start with how I ended up going to Portugal. So there is a festival called Afro Nation. I don't know if anybody knows about it, but it's amazing. Because obviously I went. So they have it in a bunch of different areas. They have it in different places in the United States, and also they had it in Portugal. But they had one in Miami. I believe it was in May. And I was looking to go to the one in Miami because it was easier to get to, it was cheaper. There were a lot of different reasons why I wanted to go to the one in Miami. I was looking for someone to come with me, and I even thought about going to the one in Miami by myself, but there are some laws and things that are being passed in Florida that I was a little scared to go by myself. So I was kind of like, I am not going to go by myself. If I go to this one, I'm going to go with somebody else because I can't. No, thank you. I had one friend that kind of sounded interested, but then it kind of fell through. And then I kind of put it off, and I was like, well, this is not going to happen. And then I went to work, and I was talking to, just kind of in general, but one of my coworkers, and she was like, oh my god, I'd love to go. When is it? And I told her, and she's like, oh, I'm going to be on another vacation during that time. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, what about the one in Portugal? Just kind of like putting it out there, even though I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, I don't know, for me, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna happen. And then she was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. So that's how we started the whole, all right, let's do this. Let's go to Portugal. I don't even care how much it costs anymore. I have somebody going with me, wants to travel that far and experience this with me, and I was super excited. We went out to dinner a few times to kind of solidify things and plan things. Because the festival was kind of like in the middle of the week, there was a whole middle to end of the week, whole beginning of the week and weekend, and I was like, what if we go to Lisbon first, spend a few days there, and then go to the Algarves where the festival's going to be, and stay the rest of the time there, and then come back to Lisbon to fly out. We booked our flights separately just because we were both trying to find the best price, and she wanted to pay less and do more travel, as in do like layovers and things. And me, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay whatever, I'm gonna go direct, and that's it, so I don't have to worry about it. Honestly, looking back at it, I'm glad I did it because I do not need to be extra stressed for what happened with everything, and that thankfully the flight was so smooth and I didn't have to worry about transferring. I just got on a plane, got there, got on a plane, got back home, and I didn't have to worry about anything. Transferring, bags lost, nothing. Okay. So then that night after work, I went to the airport. I got on a flight. It was a little bit delayed, nothing crazy, but I got there, and I knew that I was going to be there a few hours before my friend, because the way that we booked the tickets, I would get there more in the morning, and she would get there more in the evening. When I got to Portugal, however, she had texted me and was like, oh, I missed my flight, they're rebooking me on a flight, and I won't be there for another day. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, I'm gonna be here by myself for a day, I'll be fine, it's fine. So I get to Portugal, and everybody is so nice, so helpful. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Prices were crazy. Like, Ubers to go like 15 minutes were like $5. I took a taxi from the airport all the way to my Airbnb, which is like, it was like a long time. It was like 45 minutes maybe, and it was like $15. Coming from New York City, where traveling 45 minutes is probably like $100. We got to the Airbnb, and I met the guy who was gonna let me into the Airbnb, and here we go, he's trying to open his door, and he can't get in. He can't get in. Like, he's trying with these keys. They have like these old-fashioned keys and whatnot, and I'm like, oh my god. We were probably there for 20 minutes. He's sweating, he can't get in. Like, I'm like, great. My friend missed her flight. I'm here by myself, and I can't even get into my Airbnb. I'm like, great. Honestly, this all worked out. I think everything worked out how it was supposed to. There were so many signs when I was there that I was like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I was supposed to take this trip. I was supposed to be here. It's supposed to happen like this. I believe that. I believe that. So he was like, I can't get in. I've called the owners and everything, and everybody said it was fine, but I can't get in. He's like, this is not safe for you to be here if you can't get in or you can't get out or whatnot. So he's like, there's another place. He's like, this is one of my favorite places, and we're gonna put you into this place because the person who's checking into this place is not checking in until the day you leave anyways, so it's vacant right now. I was like, okay. He's like, here, I'll take you, let's go to my car. Me, I'm like, I don't know, stranger danger. Should I get into this random person's car? But then I was like thinking, like, if I take an Uber, it's a random person as it is. Yes, there can be danger, 100%, but let me tell you, Portugal, they say it's one of the safest places, and I know, don't always listen to the internet, but it was fine. It was fine. Once again, we were driving. It didn't take too long, but I was talking, asking him questions. We got to the next place, and beautiful. Oh my god, it was this little villa.
So I decided that I think it would be a good idea to show you my Airbnb, and this one is, so let's do a little tour because you guys deserve it for sure. Here's the front door, obviously intercom, AC, things like that. This is like a little hallway, and then on our right we have our little bathroom, and then on our right over here we have a small bedroom. Actually, it's a really decent size, but it's very cute. And then TV. This is the living room with the dining room here and the living room combination. It's so pretty. It's so bright in here. They have like a little reading nook over here, and obviously you can sit, read or whatever you want right here. And then the most beautiful part is we have a terrace. And go outside. We have some little seats on either side. And then you have this view currently. It's actually very hot right now, so I'm not on the chairs, but it's nice to go at night. Okay, we'll shut that later. Then if we go back through these doors and down this hallway, we have a place to put our coats, little decal on the wall. On the right side, we have our kitchen. It's actually really cute. Obviously, this is a refrigerator, dishwasher's over here, garbage. We have our spot to eat, if anything, spot to cook. And then what's nice is over here, we have a laundry machine, which I probably won't use, but, and then facing a brick wall, but there's always people like partying up there. So, and then if we go out of the kitchen, we go to our right, we have another bedroom, which is the master, which I'm staying in. And then the master obviously has its own bathroom. Don't mind my mess, but another little bathroom.
It was like a walk up, but they added an elevator. Beautiful. It had views like you could not imagine of the river. Oh my god, I'm so bad at it. I believe it's the river. And you could see from one end all the way to the other end. It had 2 bedrooms and it had 2 bathrooms and full kitchen. Yeah, so I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be here by myself. What am I gonna do? So I went out after that, jet lagged as hell, but I went out and I walked around, tried to get like my bearings of the city of Lisbon, which, oh my god, beautiful. Beautiful. I love it there. Let me move there. Yeah, I walked around and my mom was like, do not drink the water there. I drink the water there. I was like, I'm gonna be fine. They say it's safe. I went back to the place and it was getting towards evening, but it was still light out. So I obviously cracked open one of these sparkling, I think it was like a blackberry cider. They had this tiny little terrace. I sat on the terrace with a chair and took in my beautiful surroundings and drank my cider and waited for the sun to go down.
I don't know if you guys can hear the music that's playing. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I'm definitely romanticizing life right now.
Like absolutely perfect. And I went to bed, waking up the next morning thinking, okay, my friend's gonna come and we'll be all good. And I grabbed my phone because obviously that's the first thing anybody does. And I have a text message and it says, I won't be able to make it. I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay. So I text her back. I'm like, what do you mean you're not able to make it? She's like, oh, I didn't realize that I needed a visa to go here, so I can't come. And she's like, I'm so sorry. So I was like, okay, it's okay. I wasn't mad. She didn't know, whatever, it's fine. I was just more a little bit in shock because I'm like, I'm here in Portugal by myself. Nobody's coming to spend the rest of the time with me. And I have another 6 days here. I mean, 6 days is not that long, but at the same time, I'm like, by myself, okay? And I was kind of a little bit in shock. And I just kind of sat on the couch and was, for just maybe like an hour, and just like contemplating everything because I was slowly freaking out, but not like, just a little freaking out because it's just like, all of a sudden you plan this whole trip with somebody. These are the expectations, and then all of a sudden you're on a solo trip. And it just happens, and you wake up to that text, and I was mortified a little bit. But then I tried to push past it, and the rest of the day I went out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna explore, I'm gonna walk around, and that's what I did. I went out, I walked the streets, I tried a different route. Oh, and I did go out to breakfast that morning too, and I was like, okay, after breakfast, I'm gonna walk around and see what I stumble upon. So I stumbled upon all these different beautiful buildings, and I went to this one cathedral, and I was walking past and I saw, they're called tuk-tuks. They're like these motorbikes with that somebody drives, but they have like this big carriage in the back, just like, so it takes you around the city, because I'm like, I'm not gonna walk all of this. So I saw this one lady and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it because I'm by myself and I want to experience more of the city and learn more about the city. So I did it. She was so nice. It probably took like 2 hours, and she drove me all around to one of the highest points in Portugal, as well as like different ruins and like gardens and things like that, just to see Portugal from different point of view, from really high up. And she was telling me about all the different buildings, just learning more about the city and what was happening, and all the art. And it reminded me a lot of New York City, and it's just, it felt so good to be there. Even though I was slightly panicking, but it's fine. And then after that, yeah, I walked around, and then I went to the shoreline, and I ended up getting a pina colada. They had food and things there, but I didn't really want anything, so I got a pina colada because I had to get changed and get ready because we were going, well, we both had booked this sailboating tour, and they had wine and crackers and like a whole charcuterie board, and it was amazing. It was this tiny little sailboat, and they had bean bags where you could sit, and there was a group of us, and we were all talking. So nice to feel like the wind in your face. And also the most amazing thing is, in the States, I'm lactose intolerant, but here I was not. I could eat anything and everything. Nothing bothered me. I didn't feel horrible ever. I didn't have stomach pains the whole time I was there, and I wanted to cry because I didn't want to leave that. So, and then that night when I got back, I actually went out. I had seen this strip where there were like, it was a pink road and umbrellas, and it looked like there were bars and things. I kind of stumbled upon it, and I went to one bar because I was like, I'm gonna go out. Today I was going to the Algarves. So I hopped on the bus. You know, obviously I got there, got myself settled.
Quickly, I'm leaving, but this is the place that I'm staying at in Lagos. Couch, dining table, entry, cute little kitchen, little bathroom, and then you have staircase over here. And then you have the 1 bedroom right here, where it has actually 3 beds, which is really nice. And then upstairs is just like a loft area. So like, it's a place in Lagos. It's super cute. Checking out in like 2 seconds. So, yeah.
And then the next day, we had scheduled a kayaking into the caves of the Algarves. I think Algarves mean caves. But yeah. And it was so beautiful. It was like all this water rushing into the caves, and we went in and out of where the caves were, and there was like different sections. I was like, can't get any better. But every time we like went over these humps of the outside of the caves and then went in, it was so beautiful. That was in the morning. We had planned things in the morning, and then we had the festival afternoon. So then that was my first day of the festival. Obviously, you just go do festival things, listen to music, dance around. Amazing. Festival's amazing. Then the second day, we didn't have anything planned because we were like, okay, let's do one thing in the morning and then the festival, and then nothing, festival, and then something in the morning and then festival. Because, well, let me tell you, I probably should have not done too many things in the morning, because that festival went until like, one day I got home at 4 in the morning and I was dying the next day to go to something else. So the second day of the festival, just slept in and went. I can't even talk about it because it was just so good. It's just like, then on Friday, the 3rd day, we had scheduled horseback riding. We had scheduled like an hour tour around the water and on top of like the cliffs. I love horseback riding. I have not horseback rode before that. It's been years. So to my surprise, I was a little nervous. Honestly, it was so much fun. I loved it. I got to feed the horses some carrots, and I'm sorry, I can't even talk about it. I love it. So then after that, I got back to Lagos and was just kind of walking around, and I went to get gelato and food. Went to the festival on the 3rd day. I think the 3rd day was the best because I had Davido, and oh, I can't even. If you were there, if you know, you know. And then the next day, I had to pack up and I had to leave. I got on the bus to go back to Lisbon, the last Airbnb that I was staying one night and then going to the hotel. Oh my god, let me tell you, that place was horrendous. It was like a hostel. I was a little bit scared for my life because there was multiple people, not in the room, but in the building, and I've never stayed in a hostel. And I just like, the vibes were not vibing. It just gave me bedbug vibes and I didn't like it. I slept with the light on and the door bolted shut. That was not it. Then I went to the airport the next morning, waited for my flight, and literally was tearing up because I had to leave. I was so sad. Didn't want to have stomach pains. To recap everything, I have always wanted to go on a solo trip. And I think if it didn't happen this way, where it was kind of forced on me, I don't know if I ever would have done it, but there were so many signs and so many things that happened that I feel like it was supposed to happen, and I feel like I could definitely do another solo trip. It did so much for me. It was a little bit rocky here and there because I did have a little bit of panic from it, knowing that I was gonna be by myself this whole time, but it was so much fun. Once I pushed that down, I was like, I'm fine, I'm not here forever. I was good, even though I wanted to stay there forever. If you're looking to travel, definitely go to Portugal. Portugal is amazing, especially for solo travelers. So they speak English there. Obviously, if you know Portuguese, that would be amazing, but if you don't, they are super friendly there. They're willing to help you. They're willing to talk to you, answer questions. If you're looking to solo travel, be careful. Or look into a place that is safe for solo travelers, whether you be man or woman. But I would say do it. I can't wait till I can go back there. Already trying to think of planning my 2024 trip somewhere. I told myself last year, I feel like I manifested it, but I told myself last year that I was going to go on a trip. I want to go outside of the country because it has been 7 years since I went outside the country before that. And I was like, I want to do an international music festival, and I did it. And I'm very proud of myself, and it just, I feel like it opened so many doors for myself and opened my eyes to so many things. So I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, leave me a comment on where else I should travel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Obrigado.